Welcome everybody back to my channel. I'm going to be doing a soft glam makeup look on my beautiful model, and I did start off with just toning her face with my toner, and I'm just going to put powder over her brows, and then I'm going to take my Morphe pencil in Espresso, I believe. I do not know the names off top of everything, but I will try to make sure to list this in the description. But I'm just going to follow her brows. She does have very thick and great brows already, so I don't have to do much. But I am just going to like fill in like the sparse hairs. And I'm just going to make sure to be brushing that in. So just follow like the natural lash line. When a client has full brows like this, you don't have to go super heavy handed. Just literally just glide the pencil from the top and on the bottom. And even in the beginning of her brows, it's already full, so I don't do too much here. So you just want to make sure you get like the desired look, like I said. And then I'm going to further clean these brows up by taking a concealer. I like using my e.l.f. concealers to do this. And also a flat brush. This brush is like $1 from like the hair store or Dollar Tree. Um, so you just take like a shade like that's close to her shade and a little bit lighter than her. And you're just gonna follow that. You see how flat this brush is? You're just gonna take the concealer and clean up the brows. So on the bottom, it'll be like a little bit lighter. And then on the top, you want to take, I usually like to take the foundation that I'm using because you don't want like that halo ghostly effect. So yeah, just take your time doing this step. You may have to go back in like in the end just to make it crisp. But yeah, just do your best here. Take your time. Brows are most important. It shapes your face. So just try to take your time here. I'm always so much better at doing the right brow. Like the left brow is such a struggle for me, but you get it. Just take your time. Let the brush glide you. Don't do too much. Don't think about it. Um, and you also make sure you like taking a light hand, like I said, filling those brows in because you don't want it so harsh. And she has very dark brows already, so I didn't do too much. And then I'm going to take a buffing brush because we want to blend all that concealer out and also drag it onto the lid just to prep it for eyeshadow. And you see, I have to go back in and just fill in the brows because it can get a little lost when you're blending out that concealer, but just try your best. And then I'm going to move into prepping the skin. Prepping the skin is so important before your makeup. If you do not prep the skin, y'all, yeah, make sure you're doing that. So I'm taking my Embryolisse moisturizer, and I usually will use my hands, but I didn't wear gloves today, so I'm just putting that on with a brush all over the face, and then I'm just blending it in with a beauty blender. So look at the face now, like it's just looking prepped already. I should have went in with my serum as well, but I did not. But now I'm taking my e.l.f. Grip Primer. I love this primer. I feel like it works on all skin types. She did say her nose gets a little oily, but if you want to take like further precaution, you can put powder on the nose and also like just a mattifying primer. But I think the e.l.f. does wonders. So I'm going to be taking my e.l.f. concealer, hydro concealer, and I'm just going to be concealing the under eyes with her exact, try to get as close to the exact skin tone because that is going to be concealing. Then on the face, I'm taking Maybelline Golden and NARS Tahoe. I'm mixing those shades. So in the center is lighter shade, and then on the outer, it will be darker shade. And it just gave me the perfect shade. Like it came together so beautifully. And I'm going to be controlling how much foundation I put on her face by using this concealer brush, sorry. Then I'm taking my Real Techniques face brush. I love this brush for blending, and I'm starting in the middle of the face and then work my way out. Make sure you get under the chin because you want the foundation to just flow and you don't want to see like that disconnect. And then go on the forehead and just make sure you're taking your time to blend that out. Y'all seeing a little clip, but I spend at least like 2 minutes blending the face. Okay, it's so important. And then go under the eyes and make sure you're just blending out that concealer. And then I'm taking another e.l.f. concealer. This is in gold, deep chestnut, I believe. And then, yeah, I'm just going to be bronzing up the face, sides of the nose, under the chin. Um, and yes, we want this nose snatched. So, yes, we're going to be taking a buffing brush, the same brush that we used on our brows, just to go on the sides of the nose. And then I'm taking that same face brush that we used to blend out the foundation. And I'm going to be blending out this bronzer. And look at the face. Like, it's just coming together so beautifully. Love this bronzing does everything for the face. Okay, and now I'm taking a lighter concealer here. And this is also e.l.f. I think like a medium beige. So yeah, also the e.l.f. concealers, the hydro concealers, I love those concealers. And I'm just gonna sit it there for a little bit, place this on the nose, the forehead, the cupid's bow, and the chin, all the focus points of the face where you want those light to hit. So yeah. Then I'm going to be blending that out with the Real Techniques setting brush. Love this brush as well. It gives super full coverage. Starting off blending the edges, and then I'm just going to let that sit for a little bit under the eye to make sure we're getting like a full coverage. Then make sure you go on the forehead, and I'm taking my puffer brush, well, puffer, not a brush, to go on the nose and then further blend out underneath the eyes. The puffer just gives it like that airbrush finish to me. And then I'm going to take this, I think it was a P. Louise color for a blush. Y'all remember makeup you can use for different things. This is not just solely for a blush. You can use it for like eyes, lips, like it's so versatile. But I love this baby pink, and I'm gonna also blend that out with a setting brush. I can't believe I never used to use blush like that. Like, it just makes such a difference. And then I'm going to further blend out my concealer. Just take a light hand at this step because you may have to continue like putting on concealer like I did here. But yeah, just take a light hand blending out this concealer, and as much coverage as you need. You may have to go back in, but this was great for me. And then I'm just going to go back in with that blush because it got a little lost. Then I'm just making sure like all those edges are blending out as much as possible because you just want it to all flow and be seamless. And then the nose contour got a little lost as well, so I'm just going back over that nose to get that color going back into there. And then further, like before you set the eyes, you definitely need to go back in and make sure there's no wrinkles and no creases. And then I'm taking my Laura Mercier powder. I actually love this powder. The translucent one is super fine and it's airbrush finish. I do love this powder a lot. So I'm just first setting it and pushing it into the skin, and then I'm going to go in to bake it and actually sit it on top of the skin. So that is key to also getting like that flawless under eye and make sure it's not creasing. And then I'm taking that powder everywhere I put concealer, nose, forehead, and I'm like pressing it into the chin and the mouth area just so there's no oils seeping out and she's just looking mattified. So, whenever you put a cream on your face, just think about how you need to set that. So, we're going to be taking just a bronzy brown from the Juvia's Nuvia's palette and make sure to bronze up the whole face where we put that cream bronzer. So, that was down the sides of the nose, to perimeter of the forehead, and under the chin. And then I'm also going to take that brown on the eyelid. When you take a brown like this on the eyelid, it just elevates the whole look and it makes it look like you actually did something when you really didn't. You just took a brown. Taking my LA Girl liner. I love this liner. It just glides on so smoothly. I'm going to be taking that in the waterline and look how black and pigmented that liner applies. Like, love it. Then I'm also going to just take a darker brown on the lash line just to make it a little bit more depth to the eye. You can totally skip this step, but I just wanted to drag that along the lash line. Gonna blush. I'm going to be just deepening up the cheeks with my Morphe palette. I'm just taking the pink from there and just look at that blush. Like, yes, I love a blush down. Okay, I cannot live without my blush. Then I'm just gonna make sure to go over with those brows because once you put on makeup and everything, the brows could get a little lost. So just go back and if you need to, just to make sure it's super crisp and defined. And I'm also just going to be taking a mascara now and prepping the lashes. I'm also going to be taking a lash glue and I actually like to line the line and let it dry. I just feel like the lashes apply better like this. Um, you can also take it on the lash like strip as well. Just make sure it dries for like at least a minute to get tacky. So while that's drying down, I just like to set the face with Sephora Micro Smooth powder in the shade Tan. And then now the lashes are good to pop on and just want to get it as close to the lash line as possible. And I'm also going to take my lash tool just to make sure the lashes are sticking and they look as natural as possible. So now I'm going to be taking some mascara on the lashes, on the lower lash line. This is a personal preference, but I did feel like she had some pretty long lashes and I just wanted that to pop. So I definitely put some mascara down there and it just tied the eyes together. Like, just look at the difference. So cute. Tell my clients, all right, I'm about to drown you now. But I love this Morphe setting spray. It just makes the makeup melt and get rid of like all that powdery effect. So the clip of me brushing a brown liner under the eye did get erased, but I just smudged a brown eyeshadow to blend out that black eyeliner. Then I'm going to be cleaning up the lips because when makeup gets on the lips, we just want a clean slate. So we're just going to take off makeup off the lips with my makeup remover. And then I'm just going to make sure to blend around the mouth again. Then I'm going to be going in with Morphe's Trendsetter lip liner. I love this lip liner so much. It goes with so many skin tones. So yeah, I'm just going to be taking that lip liner and I'm going to be blending it out with a small blending brush. And then just get like, when you get the desired blend, I'm going to take, I believe these are Maybelline lips, the pink and the nude. I'm going to be mixing that together and make sure your client does not smudge their lips. When you tell them to tap their lips, literally tell them to tap their lips. And she did just that, which I was so happy about because when you smudge it, it will just mix everything together. So just make sure they are tapping their lips like you see my client do. Um, and yeah, and I love a gloss, so I made sure to go in with like a nudish gloss, nude and clear gloss, just to give this super cute finish. The lips came out so good. I loved it. She loved it. Um, and yeah, so that is the end of the clip in this video. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. Let me know if you enjoy these. And yeah, and I will record more for you loves. So yes, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Thank you, my loves, for tuning in.